10 years. It's been literally 10 years after when the listener took a household of the Elliot Manor at his own name, as he ended up turning the place once a feared ground where worker Jones like him were killed, forgotten, turned into punching bags by filthy humans, be their own person now. And the ones Elliot's, proud and elegant and greedy and selfish, now became what they have been treated like: filthy, ugly, fighting dogs. They end seeing how Listener and not only fixing this place but also other places as well, as he made deals far and wide. After 10 years, he now has his own underground empire that only worker Jones, like him and other Jones who were treated like trash, and working with him, for him, along with him as well. All the drones that were discarded at the junkyard that Tessa found him were actually remade, having their lives be brought back, and making sure those who ended their lives be their own demise by the hands of the ones that they disrespected and killed. And speaking of Listener, we see him in a meeting with his beloved Sin in his lap, as she saw Listener sealing a deal, putting out a cigarette as he ended looking at the drone, who had a young woman who was the daughter of the two parents that he hated so much, be in his lap, loving him so much. So that's my deal. I am giving you upgrades and everything, and you collaborate with me. I'll make sure that your beloved Elizabeth here, pointing at the girl who hugged the worker Joan named Rex, ever so lovingly, be safe under my watch, and you and collaborating with me. Do we have a deal? Rex, a disassembly Joan, once a worker Joan, ended up looking at Listener and smiled. As a man who ended up finding love and protecting others, you got yourself a goddamn deal. Ran. As the two shaked and sealed off the deal, the two left, leaving Listener and Sin all to themselves. Well, Listener, giggle. You pulled that meeting off so amazing. I end up watching movies and making sure that I know what I'm doing. And after all, he looked at Sin with loving eyes. I had a hell of a good teacher, if you know what I mean. Burst into Sin's ears, giggle, shiver. You're making me so flustered. There's a lot of things I will do to make you flustered. The two end up having their moment until it was interrupted by a loud bang. The two looked up to see two of the Elliots, Louise and James, being dragged after when they looked like they were beaten up. They were throwing to the ground in front of them as one of the worker Jones came holding a burner phone. We found this rat trying to call help with this burner phone. He showed on the phone. This made Listener now pissed. As he said, sit down on the chair, he grabbed the phone, looked at James as he knelt down to the man, who was shivering in fear in front of the once worker John that worked for him. Now is the one calling the shots. You are so much of a troublemaker, and after every single goddamn choices and every goddamn chances I give you, you think that you can end up trying to pull a fast one on me with this? Showing the burner phone. James didn't even talk as he was too scared. How long have you had this phone? He asked James. James didn't answer because he was afraid of what he would do to him if he does answer. I said how long? A year, James finally admitted. Louise looked at him, shocked and scared, as Listener looked at him, quite amazed and shocked, but also very, very pissed off. You had this phone with you for a year. A goddamn year. He sarcastically looked shocked. I'm shocked that you end up hiding this. But I'm not very shocked to not do this. Next thing you knew, James's hand was crushed by a listener who stomped on it. Ah! James held on to the wrist as listener kept on crushing it with his foot. You had a chance to redeem yourself, but yet you fucking messed up by doing this behind my back. As listener lifted up his feet after he smashed James's hand into piles of mesh. He looked at the worker John and nodded. Deal with this rat. And what we're gonna do with her. He looked at Louise, who shouted in fright. Did she try anything? No, sir. Then she's off the hook. Just get her a bath or anything and just take her into her room. Yes, sir. No, please, listener, I'm sorry! James called out as he was dragged by the group in a separate group as they took him away somewhere, as they took Louise as well. Listener looked at the burner phone and looked at the name. Apparently he was trying to call JC Jensen. That stupid rat tried to call JC Jensen. Listener said to Sin, who looked at the phone. Confusion. What are you gonna do with it? She looked at Listener. Listener thought about along, and he had the idea that ever so was bright. I think it's time to move up this operation, he said as he called JC Jensen himself. Mimicking James's voice, panic as he said that something's happening in the manor and he needs his help. James, or listener, heard JC Jensen said, come to the building and we'll discuss what's going on, making a perfect plan ahead. Let's just say the security, if you end up being humans, were taken out by none other than the ones that worked with Listener. As they let the James in, they headed to the office. JC Jensen ended up hearing a commotion as his guards were taken down and was replaced by Worker Jones with guns. As the doors burst open and showed Listener with Sin. What the hell is going on? What is this? The man, JC Jensen himself, looked at Listener in confused and hint of fear as Listener walked up to him with his men behind. JC Jensen, the company's CEO, Jensen himself. I'm quite amazed at what you have done throughout the years of us Worker Jones, Listener said as he walked dangerously like a predator going up to his prey. The man that showed a hint of anger now showed fear. Where are my guards? What have you done? Oh, your guards? Let's just say they're in a deep, deep sleep. Like this. Snapping his finger, listener's men end up pulling the dead bodies of the security out and throw it in front of JC Jensen. As Listener ended up hopping onto the body and looking at JC Jensen in the eye. As he shook, Listener and was smiling. You and me are gonna have a hell of a talk about drones. The following day came as JC Jensen let out a new law that all worker drones and other drones that were created by them will be treated like civilization people, as in civilians with other people. Anyone who ends up going behind the law will be met with a fate worse than death if anyone dares to break the law. Some end up being happy about this law, but others not so much, which led to at least 700 deaths at hands. Listener smiled as he admired his new workplace. He took over Jensen's own office and company and now runs it with his beloved Sin by his side. Giggle. How did I get lucky with a man like you? Cuddle in chest. As she cuddled Listener in the chest. Oh, darling, this is just the beginning. As he looked out in the window in front of the city, knowing that this is not the end.